I am in the community of Happy Grove here in St. Elizabeth, and I will be visiting the Happy Grove United Church. Of course, I am continuing the series and visiting old churches here in St. Elizabeth and documenting those churches. And you know how it works if you have been watching my video for some time. I will be visiting the churches, talking about it, showing you the church, and visiting the churchyard and things like that. So you can learn about those places. Very interesting series. So I chose here, Happy Grove, to be on the next tour. So there's a church down here that's called the Happy Grove United Church. I've never been there before I start recording. And so I don't even know what the church looks like yet, apart from the pictures I've seen. And here I'm standing in front a school here, and it says Happy Grove Primary and Infant School. And their motto is only the best is good enough. Like always, you pass a school, you'll hear the children making noise, you know. So the church now is not too far from the school. So I came out of the taxi at the school and decided I'm gonna walk to the church. I can see a piece of the church right up there, the top of the church. I've never been to Happy Grove before either. So since I take taxi, I have to be asking questions. Am I even going to the entrance of the church right now? Let me see. I can see that the doors are open, so hopefully I'll meet somebody over there. It's a community like it's under a hill. Look at that big hill up there, look. See that hill? You know, some big hill, that's a big tall hill, like we're under a hill. And if you want to know where the east is from the west, you usually look at the graves. So as I'm approaching the church, I can see that the doors are open, so it means that somebody is here. Not sure if they will allow me to. Sometimes you go to a location, they allow you to record inside. Sometimes they don't. I'm hearing talking over there. So let me do some check-in before I can go inside. It's a nice church. No, I come to, you know, there's some recording there. I was calling for about 20 minutes, but I didn't hear anybody at
I
all.
didn't hear any sound either.
No, I was knocking on the thing and say, hello, anybody here?
Yeah.
Anybody here? But I'm saying maybe when they're having some fasting
Oh
and
yeah,
something.
prayer meeting.
Yeah, so, you know, I document like churches and the graves.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to find somebody to tell me like when the church was started and things like that.
It is on the
Oh,
of course on the cornerstone.
oh, cornerstone.
Great joy is the message. And 24, Bishop 24 on me. And the other cornerstone. So you don't have you don't have any. We need a little help to refurnish the church and so forth. You can help in no form of way.
Yeah, I could mention it in the video, I guess. That
Because the windows they are falling from the time the last storm blow. We had some damage there already.
Oh yes,
The two of them
burial.
buried. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it said laid by Mrs.
W.K. Sullivan.
W.K. Sullivan. May 2nd.
24.
Oh, 24, yeah. Of May 1904. So churches keep here like every Sunday?
Yes.
Every Sunday. Oh, yeah.
So where you from?
Oh, I'm from Santa Cruz area.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and then I you know, go around and document. Or recordings, you know. Yeah, yes, Jamaican chapter. So the information I get is that the church started at an old building up there before it came here, and it shows that it was established in 1904. And there we go. All right, so we're gonna head over now to the graveyard. All right. They are very accommodating, very helpful. You know, they showed me around inside the church. So this is the graveyard of the Happy Grove United Church. That's a nice design. It's so sad that there is nothing on it. This is also blank, and this one with tiling is also blank. You know, epitaph are very important. Alright, so let's go closer to the. These are older graves. You can see right away how old they are. These are definitely older graves. This is the resting place of Lillian Sinclair. It says, in loving memory of Mrs. Lillian Sinclair, who departed this life November 25, 1962. So Miss Lillian Sinclair, she died all the way back in 1962. And beside Miss Lillian, so she passed away on May 22, 1931. And she has a nice grave here. Very nice grave. You know, I wonder what they used to put in these graves. Like, maybe they have dirt in there and then flowers. I wonder where the water goes. So beside Olivia, I believe this is her husband. Yes. It says, in loving memory of Charles Constantine Eaton. Okay. Who died the 1st of April, 1933, aged 66. So the wife, Olivia, she died in 1931, and then the husband here, Charles Eaton, he died 2 years later in 1933. And they are buried here beside each other. So this is the resting place of Egbert Allen. And there's a picture of him here. Egbert Allen. And it says that I'm not sure, when did he die? He was born on May 8, 1906, and he died on February 5, what appears to be 1986. So 1906 to 1986 for Egbert Allen. The grave of Egbert Allen. And beside Egbert Allen here, we have the resting place of William Allen. You can see William Allen here. Say, in loving memory of Williams Allen, July 16, 1899 to June 11, 1992. Father, grandfather, and uncle. Go down. Now let me start up here from the front, going back to the back. Nice grave here, just styled. No headstone. Nice grave here again. There's something written there. Let me see what it says. It says, in loving memory of our aunt, sister, Hortense Morgan, born July 23rd, 1910, died October 21, 2006. So this is the resting place of Hortense Morgan. Here's another grave. They are working on the headstone. There's nothing there yet. I love the tile. Look at this tile. I love the tile. Look at the tile. It doesn't even look like a tile. Wow. Here we are now at the resting place of so there's a picture of her here. I can't figure out the name. I can't read the font, but I'm sure I'll use some online assistance to read these fonts. So you'll see it on the screen. All right, so she was born 1939 and she died 2011. And that's a picture of her there. All right, so beside her we have Muriel May Green. Says, in loving memory of Muriel May Green, our dear mother, grandmother, and great grandmother, sunrise May 11, 1925, sunset September 7, 2019. So this is the resting place of Muriel May Green. Lovely grave. Nice styling. So there's a grave there without anything on it. Here's one without anything on it. Alright, let me go up here. There's another one here without anything on it. But here's a grave here, very sturdy looking grave. It says, in loving memory of our dear mother and grandmother, Lucille Beckford. That's Lucille Beckford. Sunrise March 19, 1919. A lot of 19 there. She was born on March 19, 1919, and she died on February 24, 2007. Lucille Beckford. Very sturdy grave here, very sturdy headstone. And beside Lucille here, we have this grave that's all grilled around, and it says, in loving memory of our dear mother, Carmen Gale, born August 3, 1943, died May 6, 2003. And on it says, our hearts are like a memory book. Its pages, dear mother, hold all the thoughts of you. Rest in peace. The resting place here of Carmen Gale. Lovely grave. It's the only grave over here that is grilled around. The headstone needs some work on. All these graves, this one, they haven't moved the slab off it. As you go out, you can see a lot of graves here that don't have anything on them. And the longer you take to give headstones to graves, the longer, the more the individuals buried there are forgotten. Because guess what? You're getting older, your generation will go. I'm not sure if I can read this, but it says, in loving memory of our dear father, grandfather, husband, stepfather, Charles A. what? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so it's a person, Charles. This is a handmade, just informally made headstone. Unable to read it. I'm not sure what it says. Alright, this is the resting place of, I'm just gonna go straight to the name, V.N. King Walters. Born March 14, 1923, died January 24, 2000. V.N. King Walters. So I'm gonna go back over this side and I'm going to read the resting place of these people. This is the resting place of Cornelius Natty Smith. That's Cornelius Natty Smith. Okay, I have a problem saying Smith. Okay, sometimes I say Smith, sometimes I say Smith. Cornelius Natty Smith. The 22 of the 2, 1903 to the 27 of the 7, 1991. Cornelius Smith. Beside him is somebody who died before him, and it's a Smith. You can see that their graves are joined together, so I'm going to assume that's husband and wife. This says Etty M. Smith. the 9 of the 9, 1907, to the 11 of the 6, 1983. So she died in 1983. That's Ettie, Ettie Smith. She died in 1983. And Cornelius over there, which I believe is a husband, died in 1991. So he lived, some 8 years, I would say, after the death of his wife. They're buried here on the grounds of Happy Grove United Church. This is, I'm not sure, see. This is the resting place of Austin. I'll try to figure the name out later. For some I can pull it up and do my check. So it's Austin, the first name. He was called Dada. He was born in 1905 and died in 1986. He was affectionately called Dada. Right. I think this is readable. This is a resting place of, let me read the entirety. It says, in loving memory of our dear beloved mother and wife, Gwendolyn Ione Walker, died January 9, 2001, age 75. And over the other side it says, absent from the body and to be present with the Lord. It goes on to say, may her soul rest in peace. So this is the resting place of Gwendolyn Ione Walker. She died at 2001. 2001. Look, it's Happy Grove seems to be between mountains. You can see how high the mountains are. And if you look over on the other side, you can see how high the mountain is. So both sides. So it's like it's in a little valley between the mountains. You know? Seem to be a farming community too. You know? Farming community, I would say it is. Just mountains and mountains. I'm looking at those graves over there, and I think to myself, I guess those are family. But you know what I'm gonna do? Instead of going all the way down there, let me start all the way from up here. I wanna start all the way from up here. These graves are joined. They're joined together. Normally when you see graves are joined together like this, you think husband and wife. Says, in memory of R.C. Lewis, born September 9, 1911, died April 22. Let me see. April 22. Look like 1982. So R.C. Lewis, 1911 to 1982. And there's a cross here right on top of his headstone. And then over here, the person that's joined to him, let me see whose grave it is. Say, in loving memory of In loving memory of um I think it's Kathleen Lewis. Sunrise April 17, 1917. Sunset January 29, 2011. So she is the wife, he's the husband. He died way back in the 1980s, and she lived to see the new millennium. In loving memory of a dear wife and mother, Gwendolyn Louise Spencer, born March 2, 1915, died June 3, 1982. Gwendolyn Louise Spencer Sims. Is that Sims or is that Sams? Let me see. Hold on. No, that's not Sims. That's Sams. That like it says Sams. Grave of Gwendolyn, 1915 to 1982. I don't like small tiles. They look good on a grave, but I don't like when the tiles they are small. They're not in fashion again. If you're gonna tile a house, you don't want to use these little small tiles. Whether they cut them small or they buy them small, it's just not fashionable. The bigger tiles are better. Bigger tiles are better. All right, so this is the resting place of, let me read at the top. It says, in loving memory of Esri Augustus Sams. Oh, so when I was reading over there and I said Gwendolyn Louise Spencer Sams, I was right. I never heard the last name Sams before. Anyway, Esri Augustus Sams, the 27th of the 8th, 1909 to the 4th of the 6th, 1996. And they wrote captain of the family team, forever held in high esteem, devoted, loving agent of peace, our love for you never cease. Esri Augustus Sams. Now I saw this grave from all the way over there. I saw this grave from all the way over there, and I think it stands out very well. Look at the way how it is designed. You know, even the tiling, they curve it very nice around the headstones. Lovely, lovely. It stands out. It stands out over everything else. So this is the resting place of, let me read from the top. It say, in ever loving memory of our dear Medora Barrett Sams, who left us on the 22nd of September 1943 in her 32nd year. And it goes on to say, to live in the hearts of those she leaves behind is not to die. Let me read it properly. To live in the hearts of those she leaves behind is not to die. So Medora Barrett Sums. She was only 32 years old when she died on September 22, 1943. So this is a do-over of her grave. This is not a design from 1940. From 1943. Medora Barrett Sams, 32 years old in 1943. She was young when she died. This is the resting place of Ida Maud Mackenzie, August 24, 1924 to September 27, 2002. Ida Maud Mackenzie. Born in 1924, colonial age, the colonial time, the time when England was ruling the island, and she lived to see the independence. In loving memory of our beloved mother, Madeline Agatha Slack. I've never heard the surname Slack. No, I've never heard it. So this Madeline Agatha Slack died the 7th of April 1978, age 67. Madeline Agatha Slack. Nice last name. Is this another Slack? So I was always saying when I was up there, I believe these three individuals are related, and it's true. I can see the Slack on the last names. So that's Madeline Agatha Slack. She died in 1978. And this is Winston Wendell Slack, who died on the 4th of April 1974 in his 70th year. So Madeline Agatha Slack died the 7th of April 1978 at age 67. And oh, Winston died first. He died in 1974. So Winston Wendell Slack, he died on the 4th of April 1974. And then 4 years later, Madeline over there died. And the both of them died in April. Could this person have died in April also? Let's find out. In love, no. In memory of our dear father, Edward Atkin Slack, who departed this life on the 29th of February 1960. Edward Atkin Slack. So Edward died first. Obviously, Edward died first because he died in 1960. Then Winston died in 1974. Then Agatha over there died in 1978. But these are the three Slacks. The Slack family. What a way of saying it. Oh my God. So this graveyard is a little bushy. Let me see if I can find my way around. Here we're at the resting place of Martha Porter Campbell. That's Martha Porter Campbell, September 24, 1888 to June 7, 1972. She born in 1988 and she died in 1972. Behind her, we have the resting place of Samuel Campbell. So maybe this is the husband. Born October 1891 and he died July 2, 1976. So he lived a little longer than Martha Porter Campbell. All right, so here we are at the resting place of Daphne Phillips. That's Daphne Phillips, who died on the 2nd of February 1958. That's a long time. Her grave is really huge. I wonder why they built it so huge. It's very broad. Maybe Daphne was a broad woman. I don't think so. Because no matter how fat you are or tall you are, well, maybe the tallness, but I don't know about the fatness. Okay, so I'm in a little, I can't read from here that well, so I'm gonna go around and see whose graves these are. So let me go around and find out who's buried there. Alright, so these two graves are grilled around. This one says, sacred to the memory of Isabel Miranda, wife of Nathan Little, who departed this life April 30, 1957, aged 73. Isabel Miranda, wife of Nathan Little. And she died on April 30, 1957. So Nathan would later follow. He's buried right beside her. And his grave said, sacred to the memory of Nathan Henry Little. So Isabel died in 1957, and Nathan, the husband, later followed in 1965, because they wouldn't have said wife of Nathan if Nathan died first. They would have said widow. So Isabel died first, then Nathan followed. And in front of them we have here the resting place of Martha Amanda Walker, who died on the 24th of March, 1960, age 70. Martha Amanda Walker. All right, here is the resting place of Amos Albert Walker, August 1894 to June 14, 1972. Amos Albert Walker. You hear somebody who's called Amos and you think, maybe he was a farmer. Could he be a farmer? Here we are at the resting place of Ta Alfreda Walker, 1896 to October 10, 1983. We have Leon Stanley Walker, February 27, 1928 to July 14, 1960. So these three here are Walkers. Walker. So I believe Amos is the father. Amos Albert Walker, who died in 1972. I believe he is the father. Harrietta Alfreda Walker is the mother, died 1983. And Leon Stanley Walker is the son, died 1960. Percival George Green. This is the resting place of Percival George Green. Born February 23, 1891, died January 17, 1985. Percival James Green. Not sure who's buried beside Percival here. And down there, inside of that little bush, you can see Alfred Smith, or Smith. Alfred Smith. Died the 23 of the 3, 1975. Alfred. But died all the way back in 1975. Man, these hills give the farmers a lot of, planting. You plant things like, I can see up there, I see banana. Maybe it's not a crop time. I see banana. Whose grave is this now? Well designed, but over time there's nothing on it now to read. These two graves here, they are blank. Completely blank. There's nothing there to read. Let me. This must be husband and wife. They're put together. They're the Beckford. So here we have Maud Beckford, born the 24th of June 1914, died the 15th February 1988. And no doubt this is her husband, George Beckford, born the 10th of March 1914, the same year as her, died the 30th of August 1990. So he died like 2 years after his wife. They are buried here. They are joined together as one big tomb. See there. Oh, this has no writing. I think I see something like Warren. Maybe I'm wrong. 1996. There's a grave up here. Say Clarice. Clarice Adina. What's that? Vaxiana. Vaxiana. So it's Clarice or it's Gloris? No, Clarice. Let me put it closer so that I can. So it's the grave of Clarice Adina Vaxiana. Born October 1909, died July 22, 1995. Wow. Wow, wow. Let me see if I've read this grave before. I don't think I did. This is the resting place of Beckford, born January 5, 1887, died March 4, 1983. So Harrietta Beckford might be related to those Beckford up there. Could Yeah, could be. Could be. Such a lovely name. Dorrit Pauline Dixon. October 19, 1942 to July 23, 1983. She was young. You were born in 1942 and you died in 1983. You were like 41 years old. That was still young, Pauline. Well, Pauline is her middle name. She was Dorrit Pauline Dixon. She's buried here in the graveyard of Happy Grove United Church. Look at the hill. I keep saying that. The houses are also nice. There's a nice house over there. Lovely. This is the resting place of Mary Johnson. March 12, 1883 to June 19, 1990. 1883 to 19. Oh my Lord, she was over 100 years old. Yes. She was born in 1883, which means that in 1900 she was 17. So she was about 107 years old when she died. 1818 to 1990. Mary Johnson, you had a long life, 107 years old. 107 years old. Oh my God. That's a long time. A very long time. This is the resting place of Sarah Jane Sullivan. Sarah Jane Sullivan. Sarah Jane Sullivan died the 26th August 1942. She must have been one of the first graves that were laid here, as this is the last side of the grave, way in the back. So they probably start out here. Let me see over here. In loving memory of Florence Barrett, died the 11th July 1956. Florence Barrett. And who is this over here now? Let me try get across this bush. Right, able to get around the little bush. This is the resting place of Charlotte Sullivan. That's Sullivan. Died the 24th of September 1961. Charlotte Sullivan, 1961. Right. Wow. Lot of nature here. Can tell you that. Lot of nature. You know. So I was able to go between some bushes. Let me try to see if I can go over there and read the graves. This is the resting place of Margaret Lansdale. Died the 24th August 1924. Okay, so Margaret Lansdale, she died on August 24, 1924. So her burial is far earlier than Sarah Jane Sullivan up there, which I was saying maybe one of the earliest. See, she was buried in 1924. And there's a grave in there. Like is another Sullivan, but I'm not gonna go in there, guys. So that means that some of the graves are gonna be skipped. This is the resting place of Evelyn Agnes Sullivan. Died the 28th of August 1935. Nice grave you have there. Absolutely nice grave. Love the headstone. Alright, so some of the graves are over there in that thick bush. If you look at my clothes here, I'm filled with things that come off the bush, and I didn't even go into the thicker part of the bush. So sadly, some of the graves are gonna be left out. Those are some of the early ones from the early years. I can't manage that bush today. All right. Wow. I can see up there, I don't know what that is. Like it's that thing right there. Looked like it was a bell tower. Could be. And then the house up there, it looks like an abandoned house. Still beautiful house anyway. Well, I'm not going to be exploring any more graves. Can't take the bush, to be honest. Alright guys, so this has been my tour of the Happy Grove United Church here in Happy Grove, St. Elizabeth. Thanks for watching. And I tell you, I'm gonna continue this series of showing you of documenting the old churches here in the parish of St. Elizabeth. Until next time, thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe for more interesting videos like this.